Somebody's going to come up and say, look at this, which is going on in my life, and see how it's made me happy, or see how it has brought me gain, or something like that. The world is filled with commercials and media, which has driven us to decide that we want to have things and we want to do things that are going to enrich our lives. But the fact is that all these things have been done before. And Solomon, who had more wisdom and had more money, explored each and every one of these things. He was given, I'll show on the next slide, if it's going to go. Okay. Here we see he has got wisdom, pleasure, possessions. He's labored. He has riches. He shows the vanity of life. Also, some of the things that maybe would be subtitles of these. He's brought himself pleasure with many wives, with drinking, with building houses, with engulfing himself in all of these things. He has more money and more time, more wisdom to do all these things than anybody on the earth today, and anybody that has previously lived. The knowledge was given to him by God, and so he has done all of these things. And yet, he tells us himself that they've all been seen. They've all been done. They're worthless. They're things on this earth that will continue to be and that have been for years. But somebody's going to come to you and try and tell you that something's new. And you can think back to what Solomon said. It's not. Solomon did it. Somebody did it before me. It is not new. It's existed for ages, which were before us. Also, he talks about what is to come. People are going to come after us. Generation comes and a generation goes. And the people that come after us are going to think the exact same thing. There's going to be people that say, well, there's something new on this earth. Well, I will focus my life on X or focus my life on Y, whatever there may be. People are going to continue to do this as long as God allows them to do this, as long as people are on this earth. And I think the underlying reason behind all of this is the fact that we're very selfish people. And when we see something that we think might make us happy, or we think might fulfill a hole that's in our life, then we go after it because that's what we want. That's what we desire. And even in our minds, we might not be thinking that. We might be thinking this is for my family, or this is an invention that will help the world, or this is a vaccine that is going to cause so many to be healed. And like I said, not that those things are wrong, but if your sole focus comes to that, then it's selfishness, because it's what you want to do on this earth. It's what you have put your focus into. And so we see that people will continue to do this after we have gone. The important thing is that we can point to everybody on the face of this earth. Solomon has already done the things that you are doing, and he can tell you the end of it. He can tell you the end game is, I have received no advantage from this. I will die as the fool dies. Wisest man on the earth cannot cheat death. He will still die just as the fool dies. The richest man on the earth, when he dies, cannot take the riches with him. They will continue on this earth for the next generation to come. The houses that he builds, they will remain on this earth. People might look at them and say, Solomon built that house, but soon it will decay, it would fall down, and it will be nothing. The things on this earth, though they may continually going in a circle, are only for a short period of time. That's the period that we're here on this earth. So like I said earlier, Solomon talked about the emptiness of life through most of the book of Ecclesiastes. Really, the focus comes more in the beginning of Ecclesiastes. The end, he gets into several different topics. But like we said before, Solomon lived during a time that was extremely prosperous and that was peaceful. And his words are so sad. His words are that of a man that's lost. Has lost himself in basically nothing. He has everything, and yet he is lost in nothingness. In comparison to his father David, who knew war, who knew struggle, who knew hunger, who knew fleeing for his life, you can see a stark contrast. If you look in the Psalms, that many of the Psalms that David wrote, they're Psalms of thanksgiving, they're Psalms of praise to God. They're very positive. They don't have this negative, everything is vanity, life is futile. Everything that I can do on this earth is worthlessness. And the problem is that Solomon had a focus in one place. I believe that I hope that after this book and all the wisdom that he portrays, that he would change his focus. And it seems that he has. But the Psalms of David show the different focus that David has. We should have that focus that David has. But we should also use the wisdom that Solomon has given us to learn from those things. And I have here Psalm chapter 27, verse 1, a psalm of David. The Lord is my light and my salvation. Whom shall I fear? David's focus was solely on the Lord. His life was not lived for himself. He had times of weakness in which he did. And we can see the result of the weakness that he had. With Bathsheba, his child died. He fasted, he mourned, he wept. And that time of selfishness, of self-righteousness and putting himself above God and putting his focus on the things of this world, we see what that led to. We see when he took the census when he was not supposed to, and thousands of people died. And his sin was a selfish thing, and yet we see exactly the result of what that is. If you have put your focus in something that is lost, if you put your focus in something that's going to continue on this earth long after we're gone, that's been here since before we were here, it's been going on since the times of David and of Solomon, your focus is in the wrong place. You will continue to strive after the things that Solomon strove for. And you will continue to fall and fail just as Solomon did throughout his life, as he focused on the things that are mortal, the things of this earth. If we put our focus, as David says in Psalm 27:1, in the Lord is my light and my salvation, we could be a man after God's own heart like David was. We could be someone that has filled our lives not with the things of this earth, which go into a bottomless pit. It's emptiness. It's vanity. Instead, we can fill our lives with Christ, which is so much bigger and so much better. And there is even no comparison of anything on this earth to what Christ has done for us, for the salvation, for the opportunity to be with God in heaven. There is nothing that has a comparison to that on this earth. But our selfishness can get in the way. And we cannot let our own desires, our weakness, when we see things of this earth, we can't let those things draw us away from the focus which we should have, which is the Lord. If you've lost your focus, if you're a Christian and you have brought yourself down to see the things of this earth and desire them and to take them, we hope that you can get your focus back. And we give you an opportunity this morning to ask for the prayers of the congregation. If you have not decided that your focus is going to be put on Christ yet, if you have not decided that you're going to turn your life to Christ, to His commandments, and been baptized, repented of your sins, then you have an opportunity to do that right now as well, to make the Lord your focus and to get out of this cycle that is unending, that is earthly. If you are in any way subject to either one of these invitations, we ask that you would come right now as we stand and as we sing.